Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray, and we are here to check out episode 7 of Pit Babe. Alright, so, Pit Babe, last episode, what happened last episode? Oh my god, I'm not binging, so I have to remember exactly what went down. We kind of, well, I don't want to say we put the nail in the coffin of Way's crush on Babe, but I think he got the picture because Babe and Charlie basically became official. Not just Charlie is Babe's, groupie that he sleeps with, that kind of thing. They decided to actually genuinely become boyfriends. So, Wade went on a spiral and started remembering the good times and whatnot, and the necklace and everything. And I think he's really, really gotten it that he's not the one, and that Babe is very serious about Charlie. I don't know. We're probably still gonna get like him pining and stuff, and his usual stuff. But I'm hoping that this will be like a turning point. The show has hinted that Way is going to probably end up with Pete, the CEO, the rival CEO of Tony, whatever, the company that's going up against Tony's company, and is like sponsoring the X Factor team. But I don't know. They'll have to do some work to make me, feel satisfied with that pairing, because they've had almost zero interaction. And we're already like 7 episodes into the series. I actually don't know how long the series is supposed to be, how many episodes it's supposed to be, but we're still very deep in, and we've not had any interactions between those two. So I need them to actually, if they're gonna have him end up with Pete, which I'm fine with, I need them to like do some work on that relationship, because right now it's like he's just a stranger. Like they're just strangers. One thing I didn't mention Jeff. Jeff had a freaky vision about Babe, but he didn't tell us. And the show didn't show us what he saw. So we don't know what's going on with that, but it kind of freaked him out. So I'm hoping we'll get into that. And I hope we can get into what Jeff is specifically, like his powers and whatnot. It's such a strange thing. This show is technically a supernatural romance, a sci-fi romance almost, because ABO is automatically sci-fi. But it's not really been the point of the series. Like you could pretty much take out all of the supernatural stuff and just have a regular racing show with romance, like it almost doesn't really need the ABO stuff, especially because we're not like digging into it. And I don't know how it was in the novel. Like maybe in the novel it's actually more upfront and front and center. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Maybe it's more front and center in the novel. If you've read the novel, let me know if it really was like more delved into, because they only vaguely sometimes bring it up. But it's almost, I know the current storyline with Babe right now is that he's lost his senses and his abilities after his crash, but it still doesn't quite feel like the show is about that. Like the show is more about the racing and the romance than it is about the ABO stuff. So we'll see how it shakes out. Maybe the back half or so will be more focused on the ABO dynamics and whatnot. So we'll see. All right, honestly, I'm ready to just jump into the episode. Like I've been talking about it quite a bit, so we can go ahead and just get started. All right, let's go.
มึงก็ต้องเข้าใจมันหน่อยไอเวมันกำลังพาลเว้ย
Why won't anybody talk about the elephant in the room of him
มึงอะไร
having a
อะไร
crush
ก็ไอ
on
เว
you?
เดี๋ยวนี้มึงอะไรอะไรก็ชาลี คนใกล้ชิดอย่างมันก็ต้องรู้สึกเป็นธรรมดา
ผมรู้สึกว่าที่ผ่านมาที่ผมไม่กล้ามีความรักหรือไม่กล้ามีแฟนเนี่ยส่วนหนึ่งก็เป็นเพราะว่าไอ้เวทำให้ผมเชื่อว่าผมแม่งไม่คู่ควรที่จะรักใคร
Wow.
การอยู่คนเดียวคือทางออกที่ดีที่สุด
เอานะมึงให้เวลามาหน่อยแล้วกัน
Wow. He really, damn. Yeah, nah, I don't like Wei. I don't like Wei.
ไง
Like, I can't believe how long he's been making him
Don't
feel
react
like
on
that.
โตแล้วยังติดพี่
So he's absolutely aware of the fact that Wei is in love with him. He just doesn't. He isn't into him like that. He only wants to be a friend with him, and Wei's making it like so difficult
ภาพอนาคตที่มันเกิดขึ้น
because he just won't
ผม
get
เห็น
the
อะไรบางอย่าง
fucking hint.
ทั้งที่ไม่เคยเห็น
It's
ภา
not
พ
even
แบบนี้
really
มา
a
ก่อน
hint. He's just being very
แต่หลังจากที่พี่
honest.
คบกัน
แกเห็นอะไร
พีท
Okay,
Keep it
this is what I asked. I asked for them to
Sponsor
just
for
like,
Hunter.
all right, let's build up this
ผมจำได้อยู่แล้วครับ
relationship so that I understand how they end
ขาด
up
แค่แต่
together.
ที่อลันไม่ได้แปะรูปคุณพีทไว้ที่อู่แค่นั้นเอง เรียกพีทเฉยๆก็ได้นะครับ
We all know what this is. He knows what this is. Wade knows this is a pickup.
แล้วไม่ใช่เหรอครับ
This is so unethical because
ผมก็แค่เห็นว่าคุณนั่งอยู่
he's
คนเดียว
their sponsor, but
ก็เลยอยากเข้ามาทักทาย
all right. Oh, you're gonna be such a rebound though. Oh my god. I think he's okay with being a rebound though.
ไม่กล้า
Take his shoes off. Oh my god.
เราไม่กลับจะพามาทำไมฮะ เบบอ่ะ
Awkward. Please take his shoes off. Oh god.
พามาทำไมวะ
Okay, thank you. It was bothering me so much that they were on the couch. Like, oh god. Why does he like him so much? This is making me feel like he knows him. This isn't are you guys getting that vibe? Like, it's not ooh, I saw you one time and I, was feeling you. So I want to, try it out. This feels like I've known you a long time. But I didn't know how to express my feelings for you. It actually feels like what Wei is like with Babe. Maybe, no, not exactly. But you know what I mean. Like, it's been a while. Oh, not. Damn. Not the PPL right next to the the pointed anti-anxiety drugs. Alright, still trying to figure out who the hell sabotaged the car.
เอากูขึ้นมา
นี่มึงกำลังตามสืบเรื่องนี้อยู่เหรอมึงคิดทำอะไรวะ
กูจะทำอะไรเรื่องของกู
คุณโทนี่เขาก็ปูทางไม่มึงขนาดนี้แล้วอะเหลือแค่มึงหยิบให้มันจมดินก็เท่านั้นปะแต่ถ้ามึงไม่อยากทำกูจะทำ
Like, it's about racing
ใส่
for
หัวกับเกาหลี
him.
ไปเลยไปไม่ต้องมาขวางทางพวกกูไอ้นี่แล้วถ้ากูยังเห็นมึงยุ่งเรื่องพวกนี้อยู่เนี่ย
But for him, it's not even about racing. It's about, like, this one-sided beef he has with Babe.
ไม่ไหวเลยนะเคนตะ ถ้าคราวหน้าแกพลาดแบบนี้อีกเนี่ย สงสัยฉันคงต้องลงโทษแกบ้างแล้ว
ขอโทษครับ ครั้งหน้าผมจะระวังให้มากกว่านี้
นี่แปลว่าพวกคุณ
Honestly, y'all doing that deal right under a camera. He should get a demotion. Because he ain't even trying, like.
ผมทำทุกอย่าง
surveil the whole scene and see if there's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
surveillance cameras.
แล้วเลส
Come on, bro.
คุณก็เข้าที่หนึ่งด้วย คุณยังจะมาโวยวายเลย
Aren't y'all a
ผม
bunch
ไม่
of
ต้องการชัยชนะ
criminals?
แบบนั้น
Do better.
ผมจะเอาชนะเบฟได้ด้วยตัวเอง
นี่คุณยังไม่รู้ตัวอีกเหรอ
ทางนั้นยินดียอมจ่าย ถ้าเราส่งมอบของได้ตามกำหนด
ดี บอกเขาไปว่าได้ตามนั้นแน่
ครับ
A lot of vague talk happening right now. I do not know what is going on. I'm actually kind of really ready for some answers. I'm ready for some answers. All this kind of vague talk is not being, it's not
เอา
helpful.
แบบนี้อีกแก้วครับ เปิดดูนี่สิ
He did not drink
ดู
that.
ที่ตัวเองกำลังจะร้องมากเลยเนี่ย
He was like, he didn't even almost take a sip of that.
ที่กูคิดว่ามึงยังไม่รู้อะ
Charlie's on the list. Jeff's on the list, something like that. Because if he was snooping like that, yeah, Charlie's on. Charlie's there. Oh my God.
แกได้เจอกับไอ้เจฟบ้างหรือเปล่า ตอนอยู่ที่บ้านแกสนิทกับมันมากที่สุดนี่
ไม่ได้เจอเลยครับ
Well, that's a lie. Y'all both work at the same garage.
ส
It's
วัสดีครับคุณสุวัสด์
public knowledge, isn't it?
สวัสดีครับ
นี่ชาลีครับ ลูกชายบุญธรรมผมเอง
สวัสดีชาลี
All right. Another one of his
So, little
kids
bit
that
more
he's
than that,
selling.
ผมกำลังเร่งตามหาไม้ทันงานประมูลนะครับ
Oh God. He's really human trafficking. Hold on. I'm sorry. Stop. Hold on. I guess I have my answers. Okay, so he's raising special kids and selling them to people. Charlie and Jeff are included in that, as well as Babe. Babe ran away though. So did Jeff. Jeff is on the run. He's okay. So if he's on the run, that's probably why Charlie was like so like, this is crazy that you would do this, and he joined the garage as a whatever mechanic. And he doesn't seem to have changed his name. Are we going to have a conversation about how he's still using the same name that he's known by from the person he's running from? Like I know I worded that really weirdly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you go on the run and keep your same name? Also, y'all work in the same garage, and it's a garage that he has his eye on all the time. How in the world has nobody found Jeff? He works at the garage where Babe is, where Babe, races from, and this dude, Tony, and his organization have been keeping eyes on Babe this whole time. Like, how is it that nobody has seen Jeff? Has he changed his face? Like, completely? Does he not know? You know what? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe they ran away when they were so young that he doesn't know what some of these, kids look like. Because I definitely think Pete is one of the kids too, and they weren't sure what he looked like. I think maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe it was so long ago that they don't know what he looks like now. But it's real sus for him to still be using the name Jeff though. No, but this is messy. So they both were adopted, aka kidnapped and trafficked, by Tony. And Charlie's still in it. Like, he's still kind of being trafficked. This is crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is crazy. Oh God. No, no, we're confronting him. None of that. None of that secret shit.
เบฟพี่มาที่นี่ได้ไงครับ
มึงไม่ต้องถามแล้วกูมาได้ไง มึงหลอกปั่นหัวกูมาตลอดเลยเหรอ
Woo!
มึงเป็นลูกบุญธรรมของไอ้โทนี่อ่ะ มึงเป็นพวกเดียวกันกับมันอ่ะ
พี่เบฟผมอธิบาย
พ
ได้
อ
นะ
สัก
พี่
ทีเถอะ มึงคิดจะโกหกอะไรกูอีกวะ
I know. It's just constant lies, though. For real, for real.
มึงกล้าพูดไหมที่ผ่านมา มึงไม่เคยโกหกอะไรกูเลยอ่ะ กูไม่โง่เองอ่ะ กูไม่โคตรโง่ กูน่าจะเชื่อคำของไอ้เว กูไม่ควรไว้ใจใครเลย มึงออกไปจากชีวิตกูเถอะ
เบฟ
Did he not know that they were seeing each other? It might be that he didn't know. Which means, one, it was sincere, but also now he knows he can use them against each other. Messy. Oh, is that Babe? I think it's Babe. It's messy.
มึงมีเรื่องอะไรวะถึงมาหากูถึงนี้ได้เนี่ย
อยากกินเหล้ามึงไง
He's gonna tell him the truth. I mean, it's his best friend, so of course.
คืนนี้พอปะ
จะเมาตายเอาดิ พวกกูเสียใจแค่ไหน ที่กูต้องพาคนแบบ
It's like the worst outcome that he could have imagined.
ใครเลยนะเว้ย กูใส่แม่งหมดทุกอย่างในชีวิต
Yeah,
Why, man,
this
what,
is
like?
heartbreaking, actually. Yeah, this is heartbreaking. He really did give this man everything of him. Like, he fell so hard and so deeply for Charlie. It was, yeah. God, this is tough. Like, this is...
ที่ต้องทำให้ทีมเราเป็นแบบนี้ กูขอโทษ
This is a mess.
แล้วไงชาลีอ่ะมึงก็เลิกคิดแล้วล่ะ
No, you need to have a conversation with
ฉันนอน
Charlie.
เนี่ยแหละพรุ่งนี้เช้าให้กลับโอเคปะ
You need to at least confront him. Like, fully confront him and get a full explanation. You're certainly owed that. Because, you know what? Regardless of how I feel about Charlie, which is, I love him. But, he's so... He has absolutely done Babe wrong. Multiple times. And whatever's happening right now, even if he breaks up with him, it would be totally 100% deserved. Like, we all know how hard it is for Babe to trust people and to love people and to open himself up. The moment he genuinely started to fall for Babe, he should have been honest.
ใช่ป่ะว่ามีกูอยู่ตร
Yeah,
งนี้
we need to have this out. We need to know the full story of what you're doing here, who you are, everything. Him and Jeff. It's time. It's time for us to have this conversation.
ถ้ากูมีปัญหาอะไร กูจะวิ่งกลับมาหามึงเลยโอเคปะ
ได้ดิ
เบฟพี่ฟังผมก่อนดิพี่เบฟผมอธิบายได้ พี่ใจเย็นก่อนได้ไหมอ่ะ
No!
พี่ฟังผมพูดก่อนนี่
Start
พี่
talking. Start
พี่
talking.
ของมึงก็เอาไปด้วยไป
พี่เบฟมันไม่แค่นั้นน่ะ
All right.
มึงกับกูเลิกกันแล้วชาลี กูไม่มีทั้งความรัก ไม่มีผลประโยชน์ใดๆกับมึงอีกต่อไป
Like, this
แล้ว
is
เข้าใจ
like
ไหม
the third time that he's
แต่ผม
like
รักพี่อ่ะ
found out that
ใช่
he's
ผม
been
รู้จัก
lying
กับ
to
เขาจริง
him.
ๆผมเป็นลูกบุญธรรมของเขาจริงอ่ะแต่ที่ผมเอาตัวเองเข้ามาช่วยพี่อ่ะก็เพื่อปกป้องพี่จากแผนของเขาอ่ะ พี่ไม่รู้หรอก ว่าโทนี่ตั้งใจจะใช้ประโยชน์จากเซนส์พี่แค่ไหนอะ
กูรู้ เรื่องนั้นกูรู้ตั้งนานแล้วป่ะ โทนี่มันต้องการขายกูให้กับเศรษฐีพวกนั้น ใช่กูรู้
พี่รู้เหรอ
เออดิ
Very clearly. That's why he left.
ที่พี่ทำอยู่อะมันต้องแค่ซื้อเวลาให้ตัวเองเพิ่มก็แค่นั้นน่ะ พี่เชื่อผมเถอะว่าโทนี่ไม่เคยคิดจะปล่อยพี่ไปเลยอะ
Sorry, what did he say?
เด็กคนอื่นๆที่มูล
Okay.
นิธิถูกเลี้ยงแยก เพื่อให้ฝึกทักษะพิเศษนะพี่
Okay, we know this. Not.
ไม่ใช่แค่พี่คนเดียวหรอกที่ถูกโทนี่เลี้ยงแบบเนี้ยเด็กกำพร้าที่โทนี่กวาดมาเลี้ยงในมูลนิธิอะมีเยอะมาก
Yeah, he's a human
ทุก
trafficker.
คนเป็นอัลฟาหรืออัลฟาหัวกะทิที่มีความสามารถพิเศษอยู่ในตัว
แต่ถ้าทำได้ไม่ดี ชีวิตในแต่ละวันก็แทบไม่ต่างจากการโดนขังเดี่ยว
This is psychotic, by the way.
ชาลี ครูแนะนำให้เธอเร่งหาศักยภาพพิเศษของตัวเธอเองให้เร็วที่สุด เราเสียเวลามา2 ปีกว่า ยังไม่เห็นอะไรในตัวเธอเลย ครูจะยื้อการส่งรายงานเรื่องเธอ ให้กับป๋าได้อีกไม่นานแล้วนะ เธอคงไม่อยากถูกไล่ออกใช่ไหม
พวกมันจะทำประโยชน์ทางธุรกิจให้เราได้มหาศาล
Like, I'm sorry, but this is infinitely more interesting than anything that's happening with the racing. I'm sorry.
พวกคุณไม่ผิดหวังแน่ๆครับ ว่าแต่พวกเพื่อนเศรษฐีจีนของคุณน่ะเสนอราคามาให้บ้างหรือยังว่าจะให้คนละเท่าไหร่
ทุกคนไม่ได้สมัครใจออกจากบ้าน ไม่ได้ถูกรับไปเลี้ยงที่อื่นด้วยความเต็มใจ
ถูกอ่ะ
แต่ความจริง
ขายให้หรอกนะ
ทุกคนโดนเลี้ยงเหมือนสัตว์ ที่รอวันถูกขายต่อก็เท่านั้น
พี่ไม่ใช่อัลฟาธรรมดา พี่เป็นอัลฟาพิเศษ แต่สิ่งที่มีค่ามากกว่าตัวพี่อะนะ ก็คือลูกที่เกิดจากพี่ต่างหาก
ลูก ลูกจากกูเนี่ยนะ
Not a breeding program as well. God
โท
damn.
นี่มันตั้งใจบังคับพี่ให้มีลูกกับอินิกมาพวก 1% บนโลก ที่มีความสามารถเหนือกว่าอัลฟาพิเศษ แล้วเด็กคนนั้นที่เกิดมา จะมีค่าหัวอย่างต่ำ100 ล้าน
อย่าบอกนะไอ้ชาลีที่มึงเข้ามาหากูตั้งแต่แรกเนี่ย มึงเป็นอนิกมา
ไม่ใช่พี่ ผมเป็นอัลฟาธรรมดา ผมก็โดนกวาดมาเลี้ยงเหมือนกันนั่นแหละ แต่ผมก็ไม่รู้เหมือนกันว่าอินิกมาที่โทนี่ตั้งใจจะจับคู่กับพี่อะเป็นใครกันแน่
Ooh.
ฉันเอ็นดูแกก็จริง แต่ไม่คิดว่าแกจะทำงานพลาดขนาดนี้
Honestly,
แกปล่
honestly,
อยให้ชาลีไปโผล่อยู่กับเบฟได้ยังไง
we've been missing a lot of shit. Jeff is there.
ก็ท่านเคยบอกไม่ใช่เหรอครับ ว่าชาลีมันไม่ได้มีประโยชน์อะไรกับเรา ไม่มีประโยชน์ก็ต้องออกจากคฤหาสน์ไป ผมผิดเองครับ ที่ทำงานไม่เรียบร้อย
Listen, I feel bad for this guy because he was very clearly human trafficked as well. But
การที่ชาลีคิดเข้าใกล้เบฟมันต้องมีแผนการอะไรในใจ ฉันจะคอยดูมันไปครับ ว่ามันตั้งใจจะทำอะไรกันแน่
I mean, the obvious end goal is to completely destroy your organization.
แกไม่เคยเห็นชาลีกับเบฟอยู่ด้วยกันมาก่อนจริงๆใช่ไหม
ครับ ท่านเป็นคนที่เก็บคนไม่มีประโยชน์อะไรอย่างผมมาเลี้ยง ผมไม่มีวันกล้าโกหกท่านหรอกครับ
Yeah, so he was an alpha who flunked out because he didn't have special abilities, but he kept him on as a, you know, bodyguard slash
ตั้งแต่ผมรู้ว่า
enforcer.
โทนี่จะเอาพี่กลับมูลนิธิอะผมก็หาข้อมูลของพี่ พาตัวเองไปที่สนามเดอะฮอลโลว์แล้วก็หวังว่าผมจะสามารถเตือนพี่ได้อะ
Yeah, but you didn't do any of that. If you'd approached him straight up that, hey, I was also adopted by Tony, but I was thrown out, then maybe you could have had a conversation. Like, maybe you could have actually fallen in love normally instead of through lies and deception. It's like Charlie's biggest red flag is that he's fucking constantly lying.
แต่หลังจากที่ผมได้รู้จักพี่จริงๆอะแต่สุดท้ายอะผมมันเห็นแก่ตัวเองพี่เบฟ
At least you fucking
กลัว
know.
ว่าถ้าพี่รู้ความจริงอะพี่จะเกลียดผมแบบวันเนี้ย
Oh, he's absolutely gonna forgive this man. He's so in love with
ผม
him,
ยั
but
งเรื่อง
it's
ที่มึงบอก
so.
บวก
ยังไม่หมดครับ
Ugh.
ผมเป็นคนทำให้เซนพี่หายไปอะ
How?
เซนส์กูหายเพราะอุบัติเหตุ
ไม่ใช่ครับ ความสามารถพิเศษของผมอะ
Absorption.
พูดง่ายๆก็คือ การแย่งพลังของคนอื่นมาเป็นของตัวเองผ่านการสัมผัสอะยิ่งผมใกล้ชิดกับใครเท่าไหร่อะผมก็ขโมยพลังของคนอื่นมาเป็นของตัวเองได้มากเท่านั้นอะ
Okay. Interesting. Can you give it back? Because that's also a violation. Like, bro. Yo, that's such a violation. Like, he's being intimate. He gave his body to you. And all that time you've been stealing his power? That's nasty. Actually, I think that might be worse. Yo, every time you've touched him? Oh, bro. Actually, this might be worse than finding out you were Tony's adopted son. Actually.
ทุกวันนี้ที่แผล
Genuinely.
กูหายดีแล้วอะแต่เซนส์กูไม่เหลือเนี่ย
แค่ผมตายอะพลังที่ผมแย่งมาจะกลับสู่เจ้าของโดยอัตโนมัติอะผมตายให้พี่ได้นะ
มึงอย่ามาล้อเล่นนะไอ้ชาลี
How do you know this?
มึงอย่าคิดนะ
Pause. Is this a known power? How do you know? Like, because have you ever died before? Like one of those, you know, I died for, you know, a minute and then was resuscitated kind of thing? Like, how do you know that the power will return if I die? Like, is this like a known ability? A known special ability? Because if he's the first of his kind, then how does he know for sure that that's going to happen? Also, anyway, let's see how this plays out. Also, how has he not stolen his brother's power, Jeff's power? Is that why Jeff doesn't like to touch people? He doesn't want anybody to steal his power like Charlie could? I don't think we've ever seen Charlie and Jeff touch each other, actually. Does Tony know that he has the ability to absorb powers? Man, I got a lot of questions. Hold on, let's
ต่อ
keep
ให้เซน
going.
ส์กูไม่เหลือเนี่ย กูคือพิษเบฟ ความสามารถพิเศษอะไรเนี่ยกูไม่จำเป็นหรอก
I'm sorry, but the fact that he was stealing his powers every time they touched each other, every time they were intimate, is actually so nasty. It's like one of the worst violations, actually.
งั้นถือว่าเราคืนดีกันได้ยังครับพี่เบฟ
All right. Let's say he dies for like a couple minutes and then is resuscitated. The powers go back to the original owner. Is that a permanent switch, or if he then, you know, touches the original owner again after he's resuscitated? I mean, will he absorb the power again? and we have to just keep going, you know, over and over and over. He must not know. He must not know. Tony must not know about his power. Or he knows, and that's one of the main reasons he's so upset that Charlie and Babe are together. Because if Charlie has been basically absorbing Babe's power this whole time, wouldn't that negate what Tony wants? Because he wants to basically sell this dude. Then again, if he wants to mate him, basically breed him with an Enigma, then I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because the child that they have from that union would still have the special abilities, right? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see if Tony knows about Charlie's special ability or not. We'll see. No, I'm sorry. Y'all don't get to be cute after this. We need to have a conversation about how you've been violating him every time y'all are intimate. Like, what? That's actually terrible. Like, you don't get to play cutesy music after this. I'm sorry. This is the writers making this happen, because that is like such a violation, and they did not have enough of a conversation after revealing that for me, for my taste, personally. That's like so, like, it's one thing for him to come to, a decision of, oh, well, I actually don't want my special abilities. I want to prove myself without them, etc., which is totally valid. I totally understand why he would want that. But we need to talk about how, like, you've known that this is your special ability, and you still willingly touch me without telling me beforehand that this could happen, and giving me the ability to choose. Like, it's one thing if he was upfront about his special abilities. Like, forget the Tony stuff. I understand that he's undercover and he's trying to whatever, like, he's trying to uncover the truth about the organization and bring it down, etc., That's fine. You are going to be intimate with me, and you're not going to tell me that it's going to change something about my fundamental identity, and not even give me the choice to continue. Like, it's one thing if he said, hey, if you sleep with me, this might happen because my special ability as an alpha is absorbing powers. And the more intimate we are, the higher the chance or the risk that your powers will decrease. And Babe is like, you know what? It's worth it. And still goes for him. That's completely different, you know? Then it would be a choice that Babe is making. I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, all right, I'll save it for after. Let me finish up, because I think this episode is almost done.
ได้ครับ ได้ตามที่สั่งเลยครับ
Oh, Way's gonna lose his mind. Because he's constantly forgiven all of this man's, like, bullshit.
ร้องไห้ทำไม
I can't even be mad at Way for this, for being mad about this, because I'm a little bit mad about it, actually. He needed longer and more consequences for those lies. Those specific lies were actually so terrible. Like, I cannot stand that. He's dickmatized. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, Babe is so dickmatized because that shit was wild. He's so in love with this man. He will forgive this man anything. I don't know how to break this to this boy, but Babe completely forgot about this dinner date.
แล้ววันนี้เอาอะไรดีจ๊ะ
เอาเหมือนเดิมครับ
ได้เลย
Oh, bro, you getting stood up.
นี่สรุปพี่หายโกรธผมจริงปะเนี่ย
Honestly, if he had broken up with you for like a few
กูบอกไง
months,
ว่ากูไม่ได้โกรธ
it would have been
มึง
completely justified.
ก็แค่อะไรหลายๆอย่างมันถาโถมรวมกัน
Yeah.
แปลว่าพี่ยังเครียดอยู่เหรอครับ
Nothing but the fuck in the car outside.
ผมช่วยขายเครียดให้ไหมครับ
I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, and you've seen some of them. So we're gonna have a conversation after this episode. My goodness. I can't even fully enjoy this because I'm actually so mad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how well you're going to receive this this reaction.
เอาจริงดิ
All right, let's see them try and have sex in this tiny ass car.
มึงไหวเหรอ มันแอบแคบอยู่นะ
Yeah, it's super fucking cramped.
ก็ลองดูครับ
Good luck.
ผมไม่รีบไปไหนอยู่แล้วหรือว่าพี่รีบไปไหน
I won't say it. I'll let it. I'll leave it. He's gonna fucking lose it. Oh, bro. What did he think was gonna happen? He was gonna ask him out, and out of sheer like misery, Babe was gonna say, "Yeah, let's be together." Would he have even enjoyed that kind of a relationship?
แถมเป็นพวกมีความสามารถพิเศษเหมือนมึงทั้งคู่อีก
ใช่
แล้วไอ้โทนี่เศรษฐีใจบุญที่ช่วยอุปถัมภ์เด็กปีหนึ่งเกือบ50 คน แม่งที่จริงเป็นพวกสวะที่ทำธุรกิจค้า
Yeah, full on human trafficking.
ผมไม่รู้นะถ้าตอนนั้นผมหนีออกมาจากบ้านในโทนี่ไม่ได้
ยังไงพ่อบุญธรรมสุดระยำของมึงเนี่ยแม่งก็ต้องติด
Yeah, he needs to go to fucking jail. So disgusting.
ตอนนี้เราจะทำอะไรมันได้วะพี่ ต่อให้มันเป็นข่าวขึ้นมาจริงๆอ่ะ ผมว่าไอ้โทนี่อ่ะไม่มีเงินมากพอที่จะปิดปากนักข่าวได้หมดอ่ะ
พี่เบฟนี่ผมไม่รู้จักพี่เนี่ย ผมคิดว่าพี่เบฟแอบชอบพี่อยู่นะ พี่คิดดูดิ ตั้งแต่พี่คบไปชาลีอ่ะ พี่เบฟแกเปลี่ยนไปเลยนะเว้ยหงุดหงิดเหมือนคนวัยทองอ่ะ
Is this his first
เออ
time?
เจอแล้วมึงอ่ะ
Yeah, no, he knows.
กูกับไอเวย์เป็นแค่เพื่อนกัน ถ้าไอเวย์ติดต่อมาบอกกูด้วย
Yeah, he's like so. He's almost violently ignoring Wade's crush.
โอ้ยกูทำอะไรผิดวะ มึงยังไม่รู้ตัวอีกเหรอ
Yeah, everybody in the garage knows that Wade's in love with Babe, and everybody's trying to ignore it. Oh God. Not kidnapping them? What the hell?
ซนไม่เข้าเรื่องเหมือนกัน ผมอุตส่าห์ให้โอกาสคุณออกจาก
Honestly, does nobody check for surveillance cameras anymore?
วงการแข่งรถเมืองไทยอะมันไม่เหมาะกับคุณหรอกคุณคิม ผมไม่ได้ขายแต่คนเป็น คนตาย
He's organ trafficking too? Bro. Oh, bro. Are they gonna kill him?
ขอแค่แกเอา
Oh, I don't want to know though. Oh my God. Okay. Let's talk about this. All right. I wanted more answers on what the hell was going on. And I got a lot more answers on what the hell was going on. Okay. I mean, obviously we kind of knew that he was like, that he was kind of doing, that Tony was kind of doing human trafficking. I just didn't, I guess I hadn't gotten he's selling them, you know, to highest bidder, other countries, stuff like that. I just thought he was like collecting. I mean, it's still human trafficking, but I thought his end goal was something different. But it's just money. It's just him basically buying and selling people trying to start up breeding programs and whatnot in order to buy and sell the babies that come from it. Yeah, what a mess. Yeah, so his ass needs to go down. I thought Jeff was one of his special kids, but I hadn't like, because Charlie had just, at least up until this point, seemed like just like a regular alpha. I just thought that he was just a regular dude who was investigating Tony's organization. So I hadn't expected him to have been one of the trafficked kids as well. I mean, I did mention it before that, oh, maybe Charlie or Jeff or both are, you know, one of the kids, but the more the story had gone on, he hadn't shown any like special abilities that I'd seen, and I know that that's what, but that's, to be fair, I knew that's what Tony was going after, but like, to be fair, exactly what they showed in this episode is very much what probably would have happened. He would collect a whole bunch of children who were alphas, and then, you know, still be trafficking them, and then trying to find the ones with special abilities among them, and then throwing away the ones he, you know, deemed were less than, in some way, or turning them into his personal guards and whatnot, like he did to the other dude. So actually, you know what, I take that back. Yeah, no, it was very much like, I knew that he was, obviously I knew that he was trafficking, but I didn't know that he would, for some reason I hadn't thought of him selling the kids after. I just thought he was collecting children with special abilities for some other purpose. But, you know, this, you know, he's a sociopath, you know, he's a sociopathic businessman, who doesn't consider other people in any way, you know, worth anything, and feels comfortable like treating people like animals. So he's in it for the money. It's plain and simple. It's lucrative for him. And the power and the, you know, obviously you don't become a human trafficker without, you know, tripping over power, finding pleasure in hurting others and in enslaving others and whatnot. Okay, so Charlie, Jeff, Babe, all alphas that were kidnapped and taken by Tony. Possibly Pete also included in that. Makes me think probably Pete is included in that, but we don't know if he had special abilities or if he's one of the ones that didn't have any special abilities and was thrown out of the foundation, quote unquote. Tony just said, hey, I also traffic in, you know, black market organs. And I'm like, oh God, is there anything he isn't involved in? Good Lord. He's taken Kim because Kim got too close in his investigation and he's too mouthy and whatnot. And now we probably just gonna have to rescue him. We gotta rescue him. We gotta get him out. Like, we can't just leave Kim in there. So I'm hoping that we'll have like a couple of episodes of, you know, getting to Kim before he gets killed. God, what a mess. So, like, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. All of this is infinitely more interesting than anything that is happening with the racing. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, it's like two shows in one. A show that's about or not street racing, but pro racing. And then another show that's about human trafficking. And I don't know why they decided to put those two together. But it's not really... Like, I kind of wish we had two different stories. Like, I kind of would... I mean, it'd be unlikely that I would ever watch a sports racing drama unless I really, really like the actors in it. Because because I don't really like sports-based dramas and shows or movies, TV, whatever. I don't really like them. But I almost wish these were two separate things. You know? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the scene that I got so mad about. And I'm still mad about it. And it's... this is what, like the third or fourth time that Charlie has lied to Babe, straight up lied to him, deceived him. The fallout from this was not what it needed to be. This needed to be, it wasn't taken as seriously as I think the series of violations that were revealed in this episode warranted. First, hey, I've been lying about the fact that I'm one of Tony's adopted sons. And we know that for Babe, he doesn't know if he's, you know, like, it's tricky, right? Because obviously all of the kids that Tony has trafficked are victims, including a bodyguard dude. Absolutely, 100%. But some of them are actively still working for Tony, and so he can't fully trust that anybody that's coming out of that household is actually not going to hurt him, and is not colluding in some way, you know? So it makes sense to me that he would be extremely upset to find out that Charlie, this man that he has given everything to, like, he was not fucking kidding. Babe fell so hard for Charlie. He loves Charlie so much. He completely fell for this guy. Completely in it with him. Like, gave him everything. Has never lied to him, by the way. Babe has never lied to Charlie. He has only ever been open and honest and upfront about everything about his expectations in their relationship. From the moment when he was like, hey, I'm just looking for sex, he was very honest about that, to the moment when he wanted to change it into something else. He has been nothing but honest with him. Gave him everything, let him into his life, let him into his family, his group of friends, told him about his dad, like, and what he has gotten back out of this relationship is a lot of lies, a lot of obfuscation, a lot of secrecy, a lot of pain. Like, Charlie has done nothing but lie to this man from the beginning, from the very beginning. It's like the very opposite. And so this, I think, should have hit harder. I think this should have had like a full episode of because we find out that he was one of Tony's adopted son in this episode, which means that we only had like maybe half an episode of a response from Babe on finding out this information about Charlie. This should have gone, like, they at earliest should have reconciled at the end of next episode, and all of next episode should have been sitting with Babe, understanding how he was feeling, what happened, having him like be able to process that away from Charlie. I like that they had him confront him immediately and have a conversation and get an explanation of what happened. But I think having them reconcile in the same scene as him finding out this information was incorrect. Was the incorrect choice, writing choice. And I don't, it might be exactly how it went in the books. I don't know, whatever. But for me, I think it was too soon. I think we needed at least an episode in between him finding out everything and the actual reconciliation. At least an episode. And I don't necessarily mean we needed to drag it out or that they should never get back together. I mean that we needed some time away. I needed him to really like genuinely have time to breathe after finding out two pieces of violation. One, He's been lying this whole time about Tony, about being Tony's, being part of Tony's foundation. We can get over that. Hey, he was trafficked. He was kidnapped just like him. You know, like, that's upsetting to find out, but it's not like something that's really his fault. 2, he approached me not as a regular fan, but because he had a specific goal that was not about loving me or getting to know me or dating me, something innocuous. Like, it was some ulterior plan. That's a second secret and a lie that was uncovered in this episode. The one that killed me was actually my special ability is absorbing powers, and this whole time that you've been intimate with me, I have basically been violating your body. I have been taking something from you without you knowing, and never once thought it would be better to tell you before we had sex, or when we started to get deeper and deeper into this relationship. Like, how do you... This is about his body. This is about his medical state, his physical state. Babe, I'm talking about. How do you not tell somebody something like that? Like, regardless of his plans about Tony and everything like that, I understand him having a lie for that. He's basically being a spy. He's basically undercover. He's doing an investigation, whatever. I get that. Those lies are not nearly as upsetting to me as the one where because he could have left all of that out. Hey, this world. There's special alphas in this world. Babe is a special alpha. He knows that. He knows that there are other alphas out there that have special abilities. He knows that there's, like, this world. This is not a secret. So you could have just been honest, like, hey, I'm an alpha, but I have a special ability, and my special ability is absorbing other people's special abilities, and you can't get it back until I die. He could have said that. He could have told him that from the jump, and it would not have been a clue about Tony or anything like that. It would not have given away the stuff about Tony. It would have just been him being upfront and saying, hey, if you sleep with me, if you're intimate with me, the closer we get, this could happen to you. This will happen to you, and these are the consequences. And are you willing to be with me regardless? And if he had been like that, and said that up front, I just think that they would have that I would have enjoyed this episode much better. Like, let me rephrase that. He should have said that up front, and he didn't. I don't mind that the story had him lie about this, but my issue is that this story didn't give that the weight that it needed, because that's such a complete violation. This whole time that he has not had his senses for like the last 3 or 4 episodes, I can't even remember when he lost them, but whatever, like at least the last like 2 or 3, something like that. He has been like, oh, I don't know what's going on with me. I feel weird. I don't have my powers. He's been struggling as a racer. He was like losing it in the hospital. He was so upset, and not once did it occur to Charlie to tell him, hey, the reason you don't have powers right now is because I absorb them. That's my special ability. Like, that's messed up. And I needed more of a conversation about how that made Babe feel, that experience. They touched on it. We had the scene of Babe thinking back on all the times they've been intimate with each other and recontextualizing it as, hey, all those times I was loving this man, I was making love with him, he actually was stealing my power. Like, that's what happened, is that he had to sit there and think back on every moment, every kiss, every touch, every caress, everything, and recontextualize it as, we're not making love Charlie is actually absorbing my ability and leaving me without it. That's such a violation. And because the show hasn't treated that with the weight that it really, really deserved, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it. And I'm having a problem with it. Again, I don't mind that that's the story point. I don't mind that Charlie lied about it. What I mind is that the story, the writing, is not supporting how big of an issue that actually is. And I needed better follow-up. I needed better follow-up from this. I needed better follow-up. This should have gone into the next episode. It should have had like a real drag out. Like, we needed to have a sit-down conversation with the whole team. Like, hey, this is what Charlie and Jeff have been doing. You know, do we still want them on the team? We need to have a whole conversation. Like, it was too truncated. Like, they were like, boom, boom, boom. We got to get through this so that we can get back to them kissing. And I don't like that. That felt inauthentic. I think that's the thing. It feels inauthentic. It doesn't feel like something that would, like, especially for Babe, because Babe has such major trust issues because of his abusive relationship with his adopted father, with Tony, because of him being trafficked, him being tricked and used and abused by this man and this organization, because of the isolation that Wei has been putting him through, where he like makes him feel like shit whenever he like actually wants to start dating somebody. Like, all of these things would impact Babe and make it really hard for him to trust people and really hard for him to love people and connect with people. And this is like the 4th time we've had Charlie violate that trust. And it didn't feel authentic to the either character for us not to genuinely talk about it. Like, to go from, hey, all this time I've not only been lying to you, but I've actually been medically violating you as well, to less than 10 minutes later, cutesy music, we're kissing, actually, thanks for forgiving me. Like, no, this is terrible, and we need to treat it as terrible. Like, oh my God, no, that took me completely out of the story. I'm sorry. Like, that completely disengaged me. Oh my God. I'm not saying I'm gonna drop the show or anything like that, because I enjoy, for the most part, I enjoy everything else about the show, but just this one thing is like, that drops it down in my opinion, because so far, up until now, I've been really enjoying the show. And having quite a blast for it. I was going to give it a really, I don't really rate things like that, but like I would have given it, like, if I rated things, I would have given it a really high rating, because the chemistry's there. I like the acting. I like the characters themselves, for the most part, and the plot is back and forth because I'm not super interested in like half of the show, but overall, that's just a personal preference. That's not an indictment of the show. Like, it's not like the show is doing the racing aspects poorly or anything. It's just my personal preference. Like, me not being into sports isn't the show's fault. You know, like, they're doing the sports stuff well. They're in, you know, like, they are doing the racing stuff very well. It's just that I'm not interested in it. So I'm not gonna knock that. I wouldn't reduce, you know, like, I wouldn't drop a rating on a show just because it covers an aspect of a topic that I'm not into. Like, you know, that has nothing to do with the execution of that topic or anything like that. But the execution of this fight and the fallout from that fight, poor. Didn't like it. That I will knock the show for. That 100% I will knock the show for. Tough. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too invested emotionally because I really like these characters, but it was really upsetting to me that was not covered well. That was not, like, the consequences of that don't feel like they match the level of violation that those reveals would, you know, I feel like should be, you know. Let me know if you guys feel differently. I don't know. Yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next week for the next episode once we get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to finish this out because I enjoy the characters and I want to see how the story ends. But yeah, I hope we can get like some genuine like conversation about that or follow up in some way. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, I will leave it there. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, feel free to go over to my Patreon if you're interested in full length. You know, stay right here for the rest of the series because I'll still be releasing. I'm not gonna like hate watch it. I don't hate the show. I'm just disappointed. I don't hate it. I'm just disappointed. Because I think it could have been like a really, really, really perfect episode. Actually, this is a great episode up until that point. If they had like treated that reveal with the weight that I think it needed. Yeah, we'll see. All right, I'll go ahead and leave it there, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right? All right, bye.
Baby, it's whatever. All this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter.